Hey y'all, it's been a while and I apologize for that. The married life is a lot of fun, but it still takes up a little bit of my time, a little more than the buses can lately. A little background on my wife and I. So I met her about 5 years ago. I was DJing karaoke full time, and I was used to big dance club type venues. Clubs that hold over 1,000 people, and doing karaoke in a dedicated karaoke room in these clubs where you get 40 or 50 singers in a rotation. And so I get this gig for a pool hall, and where they're used to 10 or 12 singers in the rotation at most, not nearly as many people. And my wife happened to be a regular there, and after I took this gig, it was the best thing I'd ever done in my life, because I met her, and we became friends. And this was 5 years ago, so about 2011-ish, 2010. We got to be friends slowly, and then she went off to California for about a year, and then she ended up coming back because she realized it wasn't for her. I came back and started dating somebody, and that didn't work out. We started hanging out more and more, talking more and more, and then I asked her out, and that was March of 2015, and then we got married March of 2016, a year later. And actually, what's really funny is when Matt's 4290 came down to visit the first time, he actually got to meet her, because me and her were pretty close then, and she got to party on the bus with us, and that was a lot of fun. So he got to meet her, before I started dating her. So, as for Matt, so he's got some big doings he's working on. That's why he hasn't been able to post, and I'll let him tell you more about that. I think you guys will be really excited about that. So yeah, myself and Matt both, we're pretty busy as of lately, and we just don't have time to make videos. And I apologize, on my end for me. Because I work so much, and I'm still a newlywed, still getting used to the married life, and it's just Matt, on the other hand, he's got some big projects he's working on, and he'll tell you guys more about that, I'm sure, soon in a video. And maybe this video will get him to start doing it, or start posting videos again, or post something anyways. But anyway, so as for me, unfortunately, all bus projects are on hold at the moment unless I already have the parts to do them with, and that is simply because money has gotten a little bit tight lately. As you guys saw in the last video, I bought a new car. My Mazda finally died. The poor thing finally decided to let its exhaust system clog up at 317,000 miles. We rebuilt the engine about 60,000 miles ago, 60 or 70,000, while I was in college, right before I graduated. And so the exhaust system clogged up, made the timing belt jump time, might have even snapped. I haven't even looked at it, so it's just too expensive to repair. I put a new AC compressor in it back last summer, and because down here in Texas, AC is not an option, it's a necessity. So you can hear mine running right now here at the house. But anyway, so I bought a 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's two-wheel drive. It's the last generation of that body style, or last year of that body style, I'm sorry. And it's also the last year of the 4.0 inline six, and that's what's under the hood. It's two-wheel drive. It's the Rocky Mountain Edition, which is a real fancy package. It's the fanciest car I've ever owned. It does not have leather, thank God, because down here in Texas, leather is god-awful to sit on in the summertime. So I'm thankful for that. But it's fully loaded. Very nice car. And I paid only $4,000 for it, so financed it for a year. But I love it. It's a great car. But, and then, with everything else that's been going on, what I do, I still DJ karaoke on the weekends. It doesn't pay very much, but it's, spending cash. But I'm an IT technician for a major oil drilling company. We are one of the biggest in the world. And we are one of the leading oil drillers in the world. We don't produce oil, we just drill for it. There's a big difference. But because the price of a barrel of oil has been so low, I just haven't had time or I mean, I haven't gotten, money is tight right now. They're not giving us raises. I've gotten a promotion, which is awesome, but unfortunately, they're not really able to give me a raise right now. Now we are, coming out of this recession, so things are going to change very soon. But when you get married, not only do you still have your costs and costs you've incurred from the wedding and anything else, but you also bring on your spouse's costs. And so it's it's not a chore per se, but it definitely I can't allocate as much money to the buses as I once could. I have to be careful with my spending, so I can't for right now, until money gets a little bit better and she can start working again due to her health, I can't, bus projects are on hold for a little while. That said, like the Bluebird, I had a brake caliper for it. No, I haven't put it on yet because it's been too damn hot, but I will put it on. And I've got some other stuff. The Thomas needs it's got a water leak somewhere, and I think it's on one of the coolant hoses to the air brake compressor, so that's not a big deal. It's just a piece of hose. If it's the radiator, then we might have a problem, but it's spraying water onto the intake manifold. It also, the high pressure power steering line, which is original to that motor, came from the donor bus. It's sprung a leak, so I need to change that out. I found one on Rock Auto. It's just a matter of getting time to do it. I still haven't transferred the rear tires from the donor bus over to it. That's a goal very soon, so I can get rid of the donor bus, and that'll quit costing me money to store it. The Bluebird, I have that Elmo light monitor I'm going to put in it still, and I have the parts to build the board. I just haven't had time to do it because, again, I work all the time, and, I'm married, so... and again, that's not a bad thing. I love every minute of it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I have a wonderful wife, and she's very supportive of the hobby too. So when she met me, the Thomas was already in the picture, and that bus was my route bus when I drove for the school district that I bought it from. For 5 years, I drove that bus, and one of the best routes I've ever had was on that bus. So there's a lot of memories on it. I've had some famous Texas country artists, which that's a new genre that you country music people need to check out if you're not from Texas. A lot of cool artists, but I've had some great Texas country artists autograph the inside of the Thomas, and friends and whatnot. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the autographs on the ceiling, and that's that's kind of what that turned into. So I've had some great times in that bus. All the projects we've done, from the auxiliary transmission to the DT swap, the stick shift conversion, everything, So, and my wife very much, views that bus as a part of me. And she told me from the get-go, there's no way you can ever get rid of that bus because it's something special. So the Bluebird's not going anywhere either. It's just right now it's sitting. Registration is due this month, but I'm not going to be able to renew it because, again, why bother renewing it when you can't drive it? Insurance was dropped on it in January from State Farm. They still insure the Thomas, but the reason for dropping it was they don't insure buses for personal use. And I called them about that, and they told me the Thomas was grandfathered in. So I'm not sure. I've had another insurance agent offer to insure them both, but again, I just don't have the money and the time to do that right now. So I'm not hurting for money. I want to make that very clear. Me and my wife are definitely not hurting for money. But it's just, with times are a little tight right now. So, I can't go and have fun with the buses like I used to. I drive the Thomas probably about once or twice a month now. I go out to the Bluebird maybe once every couple months and crank it up. Since it flooded, I think the starter is going to need to be changed, but the starter from the 7.3 is still around in my parts bin, and that was a good starter, and it'll bolt right up. So it's just a matter of doing it again. So, but yes, just to let you guys know, I haven't disappeared. I'm still around. I'm going to be around. I'm going to comment on your videos. I appreciate the shout-outs. Love them all. Keep giving me shout-outs. Keep calling me out in videos. I love some of you ROR guys that have duplicated the Thomas in ROR. I'm jealous because I'd love a copy of it. And made some new friends like Dylan Rathan over in New York. I know he's given me a few shout outs, and I'm very excited to see where, what he's doing with what he's going to end up doing with his 99 Bluebird. And what the future holds for him. He's gotten to be a new person in the game. Unfortunately, NS9987 probably won't be making videos for a while either, because he's taking care of his grandma right now, and he's going through some family issues. So I don't see him making too many videos in the future. Don't unsubscribe from him. Continue to give him some love. Send him love mail. Tell him, hey, we still enjoy your videos. Make more when you can. But yeah, that's kind of an update on where we are. I mean, yeah, I'm still around. I'm gonna be around. I'm not going anywhere, and neither is Matt's 4290. And Dylan, I see becoming a big player with us in the picture. He's already trying to get ideas from some of the stuff I've done for his buses, and we've discussed a lot of cool stuff together. So as for the Bluebird upcoming, Thomas, I'm probably not going to do any more projects with. I really like it the way it is. I might turn the seat sideways, but that's really about it. As for the Bluebird, I got some ideas for it. I'm considering swapping an MT643 automatic into it so I can get my locking converter, because it does have a 478 rear end, but I don't utilize that very well with that AT545 due to the non-locking converter. And another project I'm considering is taking one of the rear brake chambers from the donor bus, since it has a spring brake setup, and hooking it up to the parking brake on the Bluebird. I'd have to build a bracket, but I already have a compressor, tank, and the parking brake valve all ready to go. I just need to run some lines, hook it all up, get mounts for the DT engine, and change the pulley on the compressor, and then I could have an air operated parking brake on the Bluebird and get rid of that ugly parking brake lever that's in it. Somebody broke the knob off of it. So, and again, the Bluebird's got to be washed out still, and I'm trying to get some blue seat covers to change the interior seats from green to blue. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's about it. And for those of y'all wondering, I did get some background info on the Bluebird, and it originally served in Michigan City, Indiana, which is real close to, it's decently close to where Matt's 4290 lives. It's on the coast of Lake Michigan in northern Indiana, real close to the Chicago the Indiana-Illinois border, real close to Gary and Chicago and all that. So that's where the Bluebird was originally. It was acquired by Goodman Bus Service here in Houston in 2000, and it was used there for a while. And then they and I drove for them while I was at U of H in college. There was a bus that I really liked of theirs that I wanted to buy. We called it the Evil Bus. It was a 1983 Bluebird International, spec'd very similarly to my Bluebird now. It just had a 9-liter under the hood instead of a DT. It was a lot cleaner inside and had a stereo and jackknife doors. But it was a good bus, and it died when the motor popped at 300,000 miles. So my Bluebird became an oil refinery bus, and what that means is that they would send those buses to the oil refineries post 9/11. You couldn't take your car into the refineries anymore, so you would walk to the entrance and you'd go through like a Homeland Security checkpoint, and then you'd board school buses and they'd take you around. It got trashed, that's why it's really dirty inside, and that's why it needs a lot of TLC. It was not banged up and it was not abused though, and the engine was freshly in-framed, so it's a good bus. So, and it's going to be a good bus again. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and check out part 2 here in a little bit. You're going to see some new cool treats and toys that I just got, and we'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.